new report finding nearly 1 in 3 Gen Z singles are going on dates just for the free dinner. It's dubbed foodie calls. You get where they're going with that. It highlights how financial stress is changing the way young people are dating. Rents are going up, student loans are
Mhm.
coming due. It's tough to get a job. A lot of people say they're just too broke to date, but too hungry to stay home. Joining us now, USA Today reporter Rachel Hale, who wrote the story on Gen Z dating and the cuffing economy. Rachel, thanks for joining us this morning. So, dating for dinner, is that what we're calling this?
Yeah. This new study found that nearly 1 in 3 Gen Z singles are going on dates just for the free meal.
Rachel, I hate to break it to you guys and Jim, but I don't feel like this is new. I had an expression in my 20s, a girl's got to eat. Okay. That was my motto when I was in my 20s. And so haven't people been going out for dinners for a long time for the food?
Yeah, something we touch on in the article, this isn't necessarily something new, but it's definitely now backed up with more data, and it's something that's spoken about more transparently. There are plenty of TikToks of both women and people in LGBTQ relationships, men talking about this phenomenon. So I think another common trend in Gen Z is that they're more transparent with how they talk about their finances, and that's translated to this trend as well.
Yeah, you highlight in the article, right, about how this financial anxiety is shaping these dating habits. So, okay, well, so if the other person's got to pay for this meal and they have financial anxiety, you're in trouble, right? How do you navigate the situation on a budget?
Yeah, I spoke with a licensed mental health counselor and financial therapist, Asia Evans, about this. And she said there are plenty of people who still want to date, even if their finances aren't in tip top shape. So it's best not to make assumptions going into a date, and that either party on the date should feel comfortable bringing up the budget before, or that the person who initiates the date, you can kind of play it by ear about where that person suggests in terms of a dinner or drink spot, and you can kind of come back and say, oh, maybe we could do this instead, if it's not somewhere where you'd be comfortable paying or a little bit out of your price range.
This is imperative, I feel. This is an important part of this equation because what if you go on the date, Jim, and then they go, okay, so I guess it's our first date, so we'll split it? I mean, you need to know that you are actually being taken out to dinner if you're the broke one. Otherwise, when the bill comes, it's awkward. So tell us, Rachel, about some of the stories that you've heard some kids talk about.
Yeah, so anecdotally, on TikTok, there was one woman who was a college student and had spoken about going on 16 dinner dates in a row to avoid paying for groceries while she was in college. There are other people who've just kind of more or less bragged about being able to go on a free date. Some people who said that they did it as a way to avoid meal prepping for the week. So some different reasoning, but one thing that was a common trend is some people mentioned that dating apps have made it easier to arrange some of these dates, especially without their suitors maybe knowing each other.
Oh my gosh, if dating wasn't complicated enough, with the dating apps, and now you got to navigate who's paying for the meal. Allison, I mean, I guess you had an early handle on all these issues.
I feel none of this is news to me. I feel like all of this I invented. I mean, I didn't know that this was a new phenomenon in my 20s. That dinner and where we were going to eat was a definite calculation for sure, but not just because, well, yeah, I mean, because I couldn't afford for sure to go out to dinner, but also that does make a date more fun, is going to a nice restaurant. So there's an appeal to this, but I didn't know it was called a foodie call, or I guess
That's
it
the new
wasn't
part.
called
Yeah,
that back then.
definitely
Yeah,
new.
exactly.
Rachel Hale, thanks so much from USA Today. It's youth mental health reporter. What an important beat to be on.